Welcome back to Bunkai Gaming. This is Matt. So today I wanted to talk about the Black Ops 3 beta and what I found to be good, bad, and needs some improving. I got into the later stage of the PS4 part of the beta because I hadn't pre-ordered the game. But it's good to see that they did open up the beta to everybody to allow them to at least give it a go. So let's go over some of the things that I found good. I think the movement system in Advanced Warfare was a very jarring movement system, and it can be very difficult to master. Where in Black Ops 3 that movement system feels a lot smoother and a lot more fluid. The boosting is an effective tool for definitely evading enemies if you needed to get out of there quick, but it also allows a lot of flexibility to the way you move around the map. This also encompasses the wall running, which brings a new dynamic to getting around a map and offers new paths that could never be taken in a more ground-based Call of Duty. Again, the same with being able to travel underwater and coming up in new areas. So because I came into the beta a bit later, I didn't get the opportunity to unlock all the weapons, but I did get to use a good selection of the weapons and get a feel for them. Also, I got to pick up a lot of weapons off the ground that people had customized, so it also gave me a feel of how those weapons could work with certain attachments. And I honestly think that Treyarch will look at the data regarding the weapons and look how they can rebalance the weapons. Because it's nothing worse than being in a game where you know only 2 or 3 weapons are the primary weapons that are used in that game, and you have no flexibility regarding using other weapons. But I felt that the guns were really nice, they sounded good, they felt good, and even running around with something like a shotgun, it felt great to be able to do that run and gun and be really effective. I felt the hit registry overall was extremely good, and I was rarely faced with kill trades or delayed kills, which is excellent, and that's something I want to see in a game, especially a first-person shooter. I also liked how they've changed the networking side of things, and it's a great improvement to allow people to be able to see how the network performance actually is running. If I had one piece of advice to give Treyarch, it would be that they should allow the ping and network performance to be shown on the screen while you're actually playing instead of being hidden in a menu that you have to click on a button. I think it'd be very, very easy to integrate to allow players to see as they're actually playing what their network performance is, if they get any spikes, and give you a better idea of how the game is overall going as you're playing. So overall, I think that Treyarch's built a really, really solid first-person shooter game here. I think with anybody who's a massive fan of Call of Duty is definitely going to enjoy this game. So let's talk about some of the bad things that I experienced in the beta. The time to kill is far too fast, and most times you do not even have a chance to react to an opponent when they're shooting you, unless that person's an extremely bad shot. And for me, this leads to a really frustrating experience. And it's also exacerbated when the game drops back to player-based hosts and lags introduced into the equation. And it also creates this scenario where on your screen you appear to die nearly instantaneously. I think from the perspective of time to kill, I did prefer the Black Ops time to kill. It felt about right, and it gave people a chance to disengage from a fight and escape, where I don't feel like that is possible within Black Ops 3. So the specialist ability is another thing that's been added to the game. Now this is an interesting addition, but the concern I have is it creates this unpredictability when facing opponents, and it creates this sort of imbalance. And I sort of felt like this is an attempt to appeal to a lot of more casual people, and it's actually something that's not really required in the game, so I don't think it's ever going to get removed, but I think they have to be very careful on how they balance these. So let's talk about what I saw in the beta, and I think needs some improving. So I'm going to put dedicated servers here, and you're probably thinking, why is it in this area? I think it's really great that they're finally realizing that Call of Duty needs this, and it's something that's been needed for a very, very long time. My largest concern is that a great deal of the time I felt that we were playing on player-based hosts over dedicated server. Now this could be because of one or two reasons. It could be that the fact that the beta they have a reduced amount of servers available, and also that the fact that Australia is a smaller community, so we may not have as many servers available to us. But I think they need to implement a way of informing the player when they connect to a game that they're either on a dedicated host or on a player-based host. I think this allows the players to be able to determine better how the game will play out and how to work out how your engagements are going to be within the game. The other thing that is definitely prevalent and I saw a great deal of was the lag. It's still a visible problem within the game. And it was clearly visible at times when the whole game and everybody around you were lagging. The other side of the visible lag is when engaging opponents, and what I mean by this was the game would be running very smoothly until I engaged another enemy, and then I'd see this visible lag, and basically I would die because I could not hit them and they would be allowed to hit me. Now I don't know whether this is something to do with the netcode and this is something to do with the lag compensation, but I definitely think something needs to be done in that area because it was very frustrating to be taking on somebody and then have this occur and not being able to kill them. And I think that the other problem is it gives this person this unfair advantage and maybe a false sense of their skill levels. So I'd like to see something done in that regards. But I think a lot of this had to do with the fact that we're then going back to player-based hosts. But you can also see this happen on a dedicated server environment. So it's not only tied to a player-based host. This could also tie back to skill-based matchmaking, and I've spoken numerous times regarding the major downside to skill-based matchmaking in much smaller communities and the negative effect it can have. So I'm extremely interested to see how the game's going to play out and what changes they're going to make over the coming months before the game's release. I'm still not completely sold on Black Ops 3, but I did enjoy the game a hell of a lot more than I was ever expecting. So if you have any opinions, let me know, and I will talk to you later. Thank you, bye.